Hey, thanks for painting with me today. Or you could paint live or just pause it, watch it, and paint again when you're done. So we're going to be painting these knit mittens in this nice background with a bunch of different kinds of snowflake. Got some sparkle on here. I painted it on a bag at first, but there's some glitter on the snow and a little bit of harder glitter in the background. So let's get to it. First thing we're gonna do, I have my little maybe used before canvas to go on. I'm gonna get a piece of carbon paper, and then I have my little template here, and the sleeves kind of cut off, so that's where I want the bottom of the image to be. So I'm just lining up the bottom-ish of the sleeves, have this about centered to your canvas, and then I'm just going to copy this down as you normally would for a templated painting. I'm just using the back of a stylus. You can use a pencil or anything that's kind of sharper. The back of a smaller paintbrush works too. This is kind of a satisfying little winter painting. This mitten here on my left, this side, is kind of the lower mitten. This one is kind of on top, but not by much. They're mostly two hands holding a little heart-shaped snowball together. Very sweet. We're going to be using acrylic paint for this, but you can use whatever you have. And I'll have some colors, but you know, again, use whatever colors you want. At the inside, you know, the down part of these scallops, I'm doing just a kind of a suggested straight line. Here's the lower part from that point. Just doing some lines down. Don't know if I did this side or not. Pull away, make sure I've been doing it. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's on there pretty well on this canvas, but even from there, since I'm going to be painting the background, I think I'm going to do a little bit of permanent marker. It's because some of this, since I used this canvas before, it's a little bumpy. So it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it. That gave way to the bumps there. And then, yeah, that's good. Hopefully it doesn't go away when I paint my background. So I'm going to use, I think this is about a 1/4 or 1/2 inch brush. This have a little vessel of water here and a wipe to wash my brush off so there's not a bunch of plastic going into the water system. And I have just a kind of generic white in a push bottle I'm putting on my cardboard here that my canvas is on. I don't need a lot. This is just, we're gonna use some for the background and then also to lighten up the color of the mitten, which in my case is going to be red. All right, so I poured some white out over here on the side, and then I have cadmium red hue, medium. This is for the mitten color that I chose, but again, you can choose any color you want. I'm going to start doing the background, which is a little bit of white, but I'm then just going to use a light blue and a dark blue. Whatever makes you happy. You can use something on the teal side, or whatever color floats your boat. I'm just getting a darker blue and a lighter blue. I'll show you what I'm using if you want to use the same. This is cerulean blue. And this is only going to be used for, well, actually this one, I will probably use a little bit of marking for the snow too, just to give it some dimension. And then the darker blue, I'm using a deep cyan blue or cayenne. I'm not even sure how to say that one. I'm squeezing this out of my cardboard here. And then I put my paintbrush in the water. I want my paintbrush not just wet, but pretty wet, not dripping. And then I'm going to take the white, the light blue, and the dark blue all on my brush, all at the same time. Nothing fancy here. And then I'm just going to do like a little X pattern like this. Just mixing it up, but not integrating the color. So you can see there's light blue, white, and dark blue all there. So it's not really mixing. It's just, you know, kind of cohabiting here. Take that up. And all I'm really doing is going everywhere but the mittens. And, you know, like I said, you could do any color you want for your background, but this is just what works. And I'm making it a little bit dark because we're going to be putting a lot of snow on this background. So I want it to be able to show. If I went too light and then the snow is white, you know, you really wouldn't be able to see much of it at all. So I'm going around my mittens here, just kind of get that out of the way. I'm using my straight edge, and you see there's a little left there. That's okay. It's not that serious right now. Getting it wet again. Light blue, dark blue, white. Here we go again. By adding more water, you're also thinning it out a bit. So when you go to do the stars later, hopefully it'll be dry already because it's not super thick paint. You don't have to wait forever for it to be dry. Not that acrylic takes that long to dry anyway, but you may as well up your chances. And I'm just doing this top part first because I don't want my sleeve in it. And not that that hasn't happened. Water to extend it, you know, my paint so it covers more, and also just so it's thinned down and it dries faster so I can get to the fun part. One of the fun parts, which is the snow. And you see it's a little different. It's a little lighter over here, a little darker over there. Okay. No blanks are given there. It's all right. Whatever makes you happy. All I'm trying to make sure is there are no white spots at this point. When the only white I want to see on here later is for snow. Intentionally put there, not by accident because I didn't cover it. Come back over here. Very, very random. You could even use a sea sponge to do this part. That looks pretty too, as long as you get enough coverage and you're not seeing your canvas underneath. That looks cool. I like using a sea sponge sometimes. Just really enjoy the almost meditative nature of doing this kind of a background. Just get into the zone. If I was doing this, you know, without a video on, there'd be some old school on, and I'd be gone, mentally gone. That's my happy, happy place. So same thing every time. Every time I kind of go off screen here, I'm dipping my brush in the light blue, dark blue, white water. Every time. Only time I'm being careful is when I'm coming around the mittens. All right, getting there. Water. Oops, went into my little sweater there. I'll try and get that off, at least minimize it. Can use a baby wipe for that, but you get the idea. Water, light blue, dark blue, water again. Why not? Come on around my little sweaterish bottom. It's like the cuff of the mitten. That may look like I'm done, but I'm not done with this background because I still have this little spot here in between the two hands. It's the only spot that's at all fussy. Everything else is pretty quick. Just kind of trying to utilize my paintbrush tip there. That's a little more water than I planned. That's why the canvas is showing through. All right, that should be good enough. I think it looks pretty. A little darkness here and there, a little lightness here and there. Looks neat. And I like it like that. If you want it a little more, you know, cohesive, you can. This is all really, the background is whatever floats your boat. But I also want you to keep in mind we are gonna have some intentional snowflakes back there, so you want it dark enough to be able to see. And see, now this isn't dry enough for me to attend to this, so when I put my paintbrush in, it took it right off, so that was not a good move. So I wet my paintbrush, and then I just wipe it off on a baby wipe to get it clean, instead of doing that in the water, just to minimize the environmental impact. Okay. So the next thing I do, since I still have a little bit of blue on here and I want that for my next move, is I'm just gonna go ahead, even though the canvas is white, I'm gonna color in the heart white, because I have that little bit of blue still on my brush. It kind of will help the look of snow. And then I'm gonna add some more white to it once I get it all kind of baseline filled in. But the blue is kind of a hint at actual snow. And if it was actual snow, it'll probably have like rocks and gray and black blobs in there, maybe some twigs, dog fur. But we're not being that realistic right now. There we go, that looks cool. So far, so good. Perfection is not the goal. Just fun. Just minimizing the blue a little bit. It's a little painty instead of a little snowish. Now it's looking a little more like packed snow into a snowball. All right, looks cool. So I'm gonna rinse again, put this brush with the paint on it in the water, then on the wipe to clean it off. In the water, on the wipe. That's how I clean it, keep the water clean, keep the, you know, impact lessen. And I'm gonna take this beautiful, beautiful red, and I'm just gonna be applying the red to the mitten, but no real rhyme or reason, because all I'm doing is putting down a base coat. I'm not being particular, you know, I'm not trying to go outside of the lines at this point, but it's going in the basic direction of how it would be in reality, but that's about it. When it comes over here to the cuff part, I'm trying to leave the black, but other than that, not really that fussy about it. Just because I want as much of that black line that I put in there with the permanent marker to show. That's the only reason. And this paint that I have, this Liquitex, is pretty thick. So I am adding water to it as I'm putting it down. And at this point, you can switch to a smaller brush to make these little, you know, rounded off parts a little bit, your life a little easier. But there's still a lot of surface that I have to paint. So I'm trying to do it with a bigger brush just to kind of get the job done. Because if I switch to a smaller brush, since I have so much to do, it would take quite a while. But that is an option. And I'm gonna try to stay away from that blue, because it looks to me like it's still a little bit wet, and blue and red make purple. I'm not trying to make purple. I'm trying to have that blue dry, and then I'll add red over it, and hopefully what the result will be is red, not purple. And there's some parts of this painting that are just fun to do. And one of them is that, you know, kind of nitty pattern. It looks difficult, but it's really not difficult. And I love that. I love when something kind of comes together and it looks all artsy and effort, and it's cake. It's cool. Come over here, because that side was a little wet. And that blue is on that little bit there that was showing, that's dry, so it was good to go there. This painting is fun, and also it's just a few colors. You don't even need a light blue and a dark blue. You could have one blue and then add white to it, and then boom, you've got a light blue, which is basically what we're going to do with the red. I am going to be using a white paint marker, but at the step where I do that for some of the snowflakes, you can also just use a paintbrush and white paint. I'm just using the paint marker because it's quicker and easier. I find I have a little more control, but it's also nice to challenge yourself with the brush. And I might just do it both ways on one of the styles of the snowflakes just to demonstrate it. But didn't, you know, I did this painting before and I did it with the marker. That was nice to use the paint marker. Right here I'm seeing some wet paint doing right up to the edge of it. Not trying to have a purple red, just red. And I have some, you know, bumps here because I did use this this canvas for a previous painting, but I like to gesso and paint over them just to reuse them. I'm not trying to, if I'm not keeping it, I have no reason why I wouldn't reuse it. Just using my straight edge to get along the shape of the snowball here. And it's, you know, obviously pretty flat, meaning no dimension painting at this point, because that's gonna come later. And if you want to, you can move this around wherever, you know, your canvas around to get comfortable on your edges. I'm just keeping it here. If I was doing this without a video, I would probably move this at this point just to make these, you know, flat paintbrush curved edge. Not always the easiest. You gotta move the canvas around sometimes to work with that. But I'm keeping it still just so people don't get dizzy watching a video. And that I went a little bit out. Get to it fast enough. Get it out of there. Also, it's pretty small, so whole cars. All right, we're getting there with the base coat. I'm trying to cover that graphite paper line there, so that's not needed in this. Needed for that, you know, reference point, but not, I don't want it in the painting. And if the edges are a little wobbly on this heart-shaped snowball, that's good, because edges on a snowball are usually not perfectly straight. It's a little more realistic. All right, now I am going to move it just a little. Just to make this edge possible. That was way more comfortable by moving the canvas. Big old thumb knuckle. All right, a little bit left here, just the base coat. That blue's coming through, that's a bummer. But there is a way to fix it. And it probably, I don't know that I am gonna fix it because we're putting the knitted pattern right over this and I don't think it's gonna show through. So I think I'm gonna live on the edge here, leave it there and see what goes down when we put the knitted edge on it. Now this, like I said, this side, this hand is underneath like that, So I'm gonna try and do a little bit of shading before we do our knitting pattern, just to try and demonstrate that. So for that, let's see, I think I'll get a little black just to add to my red. Stand by. Maybe a little dark gray instead. A little dark gray handy and might look better. This, oh, actually it's raw umber, that's fine. As long as it's gonna mix with red. It's so dark, it'll be fine. So I'll add that to the red to make it super dark red. And then I'm gonna put it, you know, where the darkness would fall, which would be right by the snowball. Right on this side of the under glove, you know, the hand that's underneath that one, and then right under, we'll fix that edge of that snowball. I'm just going, giving it a little bit of shadow there, a little bit of shadow on this side too, a little bit less. And then right here at the edge of the cuff, I'm gonna add some shadowish too, just a bit. And we are, like I said, we're putting the knit pattern over this, so not a lot of this is gonna show through. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, that's a lot, calm down. No, it's all right. It'll be mostly covered. So I do want it to be pretty pronounced for that reason. I do it here just to delineate the thumb from the other part of the mitten, the finger part. Little bit around the top part of the heart, a little bit here between them, I'm feathering it out and pulling it up a little as I go here, a little bit over here. Not going for perfection, which is nice because we're getting that knitted pattern over here. So most of this won't show, but just enough. And I'm gonna go where those lines I did, I'm just gonna hit those just a little. Nothing precise, obviously. And see, I have a little tiny bit of white coming through here and there, and I'm not worried about it because, you know, we're doing that knitted pattern. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And for that, you can use, I would say, one of two types of brushes would be the most successful for this. Let's see what I can get for a demonstration. Here. So this is kind of big, but this is a filbert brush. See, it's kind of flat, but on the end it's rounded. That's a filbert brush. Flat that way, as in it's not really wide, but then rounded at the tip. Or just a simple round brush you can use. I'm trying to get that over the heart. There we are. It's got a nice tip on it. And the one I think I'm going to use is actually a filbert, so it's flat sideways, but then it has a slightly rounded edge. And what I'm going to do is take that beautiful red color, the cadmium red medium hue, and mix it with some white. And you're going to be like, oh my God, but that's pink. Pink and white. Red and white is pink. You're going to change your red mitten. But that's okay. If it was a knitted red mitten, you'd see highlights, and it would look kind of pink because the highlights would have to be. So I'm taking red and white, probably about 2/3 red and 1/3 white. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start here at this top rounded section of the cuff and make like a V, and then do the other side, and then they meet. And then beneath that, almost like a little mini heart. And this is a little bit hard to see. I think I'll make it lighter just so you can see what I'm saying. And then you go under that V, make another V, keep going. Pick up more paint when you need to. You want to have enough of a contrast there so you could see it, but you know, I'm not really trying to use two other colors entirely. And then my next one will be underneath this rounded section. So new V's, new little hearts, however you want to say. It's like one dash this way and the other dash meeting it that way. Dash this way, dash that way, dash this way, underneath, underneath, underneath. So it's like hearts, and I'm going over this section because I can't really see it very well. All right, I think I need to go a little lighter, that's why, just so you can see what I'm saying. Starting here, V together, side, 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 side. In the end, you know, the effect should look like a homemade, knitted, or crocheted mitten. Old-fashioned looking. And if you ever built or constructed a snowball wearing a mitten like this, and I have, you know, you're not very warm for very long because it's not a lot of warmth. I think I have too much white this time, but I'm gonna roll with it. If for nothing else, demonstration. It's almost like I'm making another heart, which is cute. And I'm just going over it to make them cohesive. It doesn't have to be an exact match, but I don't want it radically different either. Next. This angle's not my friend. But that's okay. It'd be like that if it was a real mitten. And now this side is kind of cut off, so I'm just going to do the pattern going in one direction. Let's start on the other side. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be? Also no. I'm trying to leave this. See how that black that we did, you know, it's not a lot of it showing, but it's some showing. Just kind of demonstrating a shadow there. Got a little blue on my brush from what was on my cardboard, but that's okay. Again, I'm gonna roll with it. And this was that section where there was that blue. That's okay. Not anymore. All right. So look, you know, I consider this done enough, the cuffs, and now we're going to bring that same knitted flavor to the actual formal mitten. I'm going to start here at the top of the side of the thumb. Just make some V's coming down at each other. One swipe, that swipe. And I'm gonna follow the direction of the hand. So the hand would be kind of that turn there, so I'm turning too, just to give it a little bit more realism. And then here, where there's would be another knit pattern, I'm just gonna fill that in. Start another facing each other row. Thumb is straight there, then it's gonna kind of take a turn. So I'm gonna take a turn, losing my white here. We have some of that black showing through. Again, I'm gonna do a partial pattern. That's it, that's good. I don't have to worry about that this is getting fainter, because it would be. If the light, you're out there in the daytime, it would be getting a little fainter towards the inside there. You would not see it clear as day. A little tricky depending on your angle. Perfection, not needed. It's the suggestion of a knit. If you want to take more time than I'm taking, go for it. These parts where it would be cut off, I'm letting it be cut off and just adding that partial angle. Oopsie doopsie, now not taking it into this to our background here. That's a little too much even for me. But these are partial, so I'm gonna paint a partial. And my V heart meeting each other. The trickier sections, I think it's easier to just do one side at a time and then try and meet them after the fact. There we go. I like that. I like it that it's darker over here where it would be darker, you know, naturally. I just have this little bit of top left. So this is not following the same angle as the thumb. It's on its own fingers under there. Do the top one first. This is partial over here. Hopefully you're enjoying this painting. I know I definitely enjoy painting this. I love painting the, you know, old-fashioned knit pattern. I think it's so adorable. Starting right on the edge there. I do one side at a time here where it gets tricky. And I can put my hand down now to, you know, kind of get an anchor. This is dry, definitely because I use watered down. It's dry enough to be able to do that. Ooh, Lord, I think that's so cool. All right, let's see, where do we want to start here? You know, I think I'm gonna make this side a little darker. Because it's the underside. Now we're getting silly dark. Let's add a little whiteness to it. Taking it a little too far. All right. All right. It's so pretty. And we have that black kind of showing through, our shadows in the background showing through. The only thing I'm going to do in this arena is add some more white into the snowball because it's got a little messy there. So I'm going to take my brush, dip it in the water, wipe it off on the wipe to get that paint off. If you really want to make sure it's off, you can put it in the wipe and, you know, squeeze it out. So I get a nice generous amount of white with this newly cleaned brush and just going over my little boops and bobbles. And I intentionally make it a little bit jaggedy because that's how snow would be. Don't want to see my template outline or any blank parts. None of that. Over here's needs a little work too. And you can leave it. You don't have to do this part. It's just kind of jumping out at me. So let's see what I could do. Make it a little better. Got one of those paint bleeds, pencil marks, graphite, whatever. And we are going to come back and add some glitter to this heart later. Right now, we get to have some fun and do some different snowflakes. So I'm going to get a white paint marker. And like I said, you can do this with a paintbrush, and I'll show you how. But this is just what I'm using. It's just a white acrylic paint. Shake it up, and I do some fancier kind of snowflakes. And I'm going to do some one coat and some two coats. So the one coat one will be a lot more faded looking, like it's in the background, and then the two coat ones will be a lot more prominent. So what I'm going to do is just do like a big T and then cross that, cross again. And then I'm going to do one mark like that, reaching the middle, then the opposite side, same thing, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then that's one, and I do the opposite. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then these other lines, I'm just gonna put a line. But I'm gonna do a couple of different ones. And this one's just, obviously, so far one coat. I'm gonna do a different kind, just a little X, and then across through. Just a variety of snowflakes. And this one I'm gonna do kind of like that one up there, but I'm gonna have it kind of be behind the mitten a little bit. This one doesn't have a whole lot of room, so I'm not going to do too many fancy things. 1, 1, cross, a little longer, and that one will be like behind there. And down here I'm going to do one of those. Over here, and you just do whatever you like, as many or as little as you want. We're going to use a toothbrush for some other kinds of snow also. Add some dots. Bigger version. Here, let's do a big one. Going behind. Bigger. And we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I won't see that side. This side will go long. And this side will do just the line. So that side is kind of hidden by the mitten. Just making it as random as I can. You have some other kind of patterns that you like to make your snowflakes with. You do you. Ooh, that was crooked. Oh well. I have one coming off the canvas altogether. All right, I think, I don't know. I feel like we have enough, maybe one more here. That's it, that's the limit. Have him coming off. Onesies, all onesies. All right. That little, this is my pattern is 3s here. For the intentional snow, I'm thinking I'm good. One more over here. Okay, now I'm gonna take any brush, doesn't matter. I'm gonna dip it in my water, and then I'm gonna paint water on my snowflake. Not my snowflake, my snowball, heart-shaped snowball. So I've got it all watered down, spreading the water all around. Then this is called Deco Art glitter dust, but any glitter will do. Putting it into a little pile on my finger, and I'm just gonna go all over the snowball. Got some on the mitten, but that's okay. When I tap it off, it should probably come off the mitten because the mitten's not wet anymore. Let that set up there, make it nice and sparkly. And then, let's make some snow. I need a toothbrush for that. Ooh, have one. Yeah. Just, you know, this is a junky one I got from the dentist for free, you know, the kind that nobody uses. So I'm gonna get it wet by sticking in my water here fully. So it's all the way wet. Almost to the point of dripping. I'm putting it in my white paint like I was gonna brush my teeth with it. I have a, not like a, I'd need more of that if I was toothpaste, but then back in the water again. Now it's literally dripping. I come up to the top of it and you put your thumb on it and you just kind of point it, and what do you know? It's snowing. Oh, so look at that big blob. Did that just ruin my painting? Nah, we'll fix these big blobs. Oh, big blobs, trying to ruin me. Trying to mess with my success. All right, so to get rid of these big blobs, let me grab a baby wipe. say your goodbyes to the big blobs. Just being gentle about it. Use my finger to help the situation. Just have to act somewhat quickly to get rid of it. And then I might even add some more snow in this area just to kind of make sure it's not an obvious. Oh, these are a little big too. Let's see what we could do here. I don't want to mess anything up, but hopefully enough time has passed that it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Snowing in Virginia. All right, one tiny step left. And I was gonna add some chunky glitter, but I don't see it at my desk right now because I'm gonna use it for something else tomorrow. But I don't think we have enough glitter here. We can even take it to the side, tap off the excess, and done. You can see, I don't know if the camera's picking up the glitter on the snowball, but I hope you enjoyed. If you paint it, feel free to send a message with your picture. We'd all like to see it. And then the other thing that you can do, like I said, these are all one coat, so they're in the background. If I wanted to make some that were more like in the foreground, what I would do is wait a while till it's dry, and you see how much more vibrant this is. So this is making this look more pronounced, more in the foreground than in the background. Totally optional step. But it's nice to have some kind of coming at you and some fading back. I'm gonna make this one nice and prominent. This one got hit with a lot of snow too. It's snowing over here in this area. All right, I really appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you enjoy painting the painting. Have a great day.